Hello there, it's good to have you here. I'm the Last Mikester, and welcome back to my coverage of the Doom franchise. I have already taken a demonic deep dive into the Doom 2016 reboot and the original Doom from 1993, so I'll leave a little annotation in the top right if you want to check those out. Today I wanted to take the next logical step, so we'll be checking out the original game's sequel. It's a game that I didn't know very much about before playing, and generally speaking, it mostly flew under the radar when compared to its big brother, who dominated the early 90s, but at the same time still ended up selling over 2 million copies. Doom 2 came at a time when Doom 1 had already revolutionized the FPS genre, and so I suppose it was never going to make as much of an impact as that game. However, while other sequels like Half-Life 2 and Halo 2 managed to make huge impacts of their own and expand on the original games in important and profound ways, and a game such as Fallout New Vegas streamlined the experience offered in Fallout 3, improving it a ton in the process, in my eyes, Doom 2 didn't manage to do that. In fact, the game feels more like an add-on to the original game as opposed to a true sequel. Everything feels damn near identical to the first Doom game, and while there are of course changes, with a new weapon and some new enemies, graphically and technologically speaking, it's the same game. I guess the age-old adage of if it ain't broke, don't fix it was deployed here, but this philosophy can easily backfire, and unfortunately it stands out as more of a negative here. I went into Doom 2 expecting Doom 1, but better. And man, do I wish that was the case. I did my absolute best and tried so hard to love this game, but it just did not happen. I'm honestly rather conflicted on whether I actually enjoyed Doom 2 or not. I'm leaning towards the latter because by the final level of the main game I was completely and utterly spent, frustrated, and ready to move on. This was the complete opposite of the feelings I got after finishing Doom 2016 and the original, where although I didn't feel the need to replay either of them anytime soon, I was happy and satisfied with what I had played. With Doom 2, I just had to drag myself through the game just so I could get this video out, and I wasn't having nearly as much fun with it as I thought I would, which really surprised me. I love Doom as a franchise. The games are undeniably fun to play, and so is Doom 2. It's got some great things about it, some excellent things even, but there is just one major thing that infuriated me and had me dealing with my own slice of hell as I sat in front of my monitor wondering why I was still here.
Why are we still here?
So, what is this major flaw I speak of? Well, we'll get to that, but first, let's go over the history of Doom 2 and its legacy within the Doom franchise. Before I get down and dirty with my cynical side, we should talk about this game's history, so let's do that. Doom 2 was once again developed by id Software and published by GT Interactive, just like the original. It was released for MS-DOS on October 10th, 1994. Unlike Doom 1 though, which could only be purchased by mail order, yeah, you remember when that was a thing? Doom 2 was only available in retail stores, to the point of being pre-ordered so much that it soon became tricky to even get a hold of in stores. It had a pretty good reception upon release, but was also criticized in the same area that I'm gonna nail it for, which we'll get into in a bit. Due to some secret Wolfenstein levels, the game faced legal issues in Germany because, well, yeah, Germany's actions in the mid-19th century weren't exactly their best moments. Wolfenstein 3D faced similar issues when it came out, and Doom 2 was put on the index of, oh dear lord. Okay, I'm gonna do my best here, but I apologize for the butchering that is about to happen. Bundesprüfstelle für Jugendfragende Schriften in frickin' shit, man. Being on this tongue-twisting index meant that the game could not be advertised, sold, or otherwise given in any form to minors, at least until 2019 when it was removed from the index along with Wolfenstein 3D, so now it can be played in Germany without local law enforcement knocking down your door. Hooray for freedom and democracy! In Australia, the game sold 10,000 copies in the first 2 days, so even the Aussies were loving the demon-slaying party.
Let it go.
Much like the original, it was ported to pretty much every console in existence, so Doom 2 had no trouble selling, which shouldn't surprise anyone considering the impact of the original. However, it's on the other side of the coin that Doom 2's troubles started for me, so with that brief history lesson out of the way, let's get into it. Now, before I get into this next section, it's worth mentioning that I don't hate Doom 2 or anything. It might sound that way at times over the course of this video, but the reality is that no Doom game that I have played so far has been bad. That might change with Doom 3, but we'll see. I know quite a few people probably have a huge nostalgia boner for this game, and I know it's well loved, but this is a video on my channel, so it is my opinion, and you're welcome to disagree and tell me why.
Tell me why.
Just don't be a doorknob about it. So, why am I not that enthralled with Doom 2? Well, it was the one thing that I praised in Doom 1, for the most part at least, and that is the level design. Now, in Doom 2, it's one continuous barrage of levels adding up to a total of 32, with a couple secret Wolfenstein levels as mentioned above. This is different from the original, as of course that game was split up into different episodes. The levels were super solid and well designed in the original game, and in Doom 2016 for that matter, mostly because it was first and foremost simple. My Doom 2016 video is even called The Art of Simplicity because I believe that Doom is at its absolute best when it's a simple, high-octane shooter with kick-ass music. Simple fun is the beating heart of Doom, except someone must have had a heart attack while designing these levels because that's the only explanation I got. The levels across the board are more complicated than the original Doom, which is fine I guess. Expanding on something usually requires more complexity, but the pathways here are just so weirdly designed and convoluted that it ends up being staggeringly difficult to navigate them, especially the later ones. Take level 13 for instance, called Downtown, which by the way looks like no downtown area I have ever been to. Here, level progression is a mess and you constantly have to drop down from ledges, then go back up, then back down, then go to a different building, then around to the other side of the level, and oh my Satan, just stop! There is no need for this to be so complicated. Level 8, called Tricks and Traps, should be called Fricks and Craps, cause holy frick is this level crappy. There are so many enemies. Why are there so many enemies? I literally took the time to rename the recording of this level because it baffled me so much. You barely get enough ammo to handle everything, and when you do get ammo and invincibility in this room, the door won't open. When I was finally able to get through the cluster truck of Hell Knights that were literally stun-locking me, the door just wouldn't open. Then my power-up ran out, and that's GG because I didn't have enough ammo for this shit, so I had to reload my save, and then finally, unlike my 10th try, the door opened on its own. Don't know if the demons opened it or Satan just said, okay, we've tortured him enough, and popped it open. Don't care, to be honest. Seriously, what the hell happened here?
What happened?
The original Doom had such great level design and was easy to understand, so I was flabbergasted by how bad this was. Now, going back to what I was saying about level progression, sometimes it's fine, but other times there will be confusing areas where you advance to the next area through a blank wall that looks like every other damn wall in the game. Of course, I'm not talking about secret areas, as those are always going to be tough to find, but just the regular progression of a level can lead one to spam the interact key against every wall and hope something happens. I'm not asking for a neon sign that says go this way, but geez, give me something, man. Then there is level 24, the Chasm, which may bring up PTSD for some folks, and this is widely considered to be the worst level in Doom 2. I probably hate Downtown more, but frick, this one's bad too. Doom is a fast-paced action shooter, and when you throw in tiny little ledges over a kill zone you can't escape from, you lose me completely. Doom 2016 had some parkouring, but it wasn't anything like this. First off, the movement is way too fast and way too sensitive for this level of precision, and secondly, why? Why? Why, oh god fucking why? And finally, with great finality, you have the final level called Icon of Sin, which is really simple, if you know what to do. And if you don't, well, I'm sure there is some room left in your nearest asylum. You essentially gotta kill the big demon boy while avoiding about 1 trillion of his angry spawn. They clearly went for the final level approach of throw absolutely every enemy previously encountered in the game at the player, and they also made sure that they spawn forever. Forever, I say. This would be fine if the only way to end the infinite demon orgy was well executed, but it's not. In short, you gotta ride this lift up to the demon boy's head and shoot his exposed brain with a rocket. Sounds simple enough, right? However, this is Doom 2, and everything has to be unnecessarily complicated, so here, when you ride the lift up, you have to fire your rocket in the exact right spot, at the exact right moment, in the exact right way, or you gotta drop back down to the lava and wait for the lift to come back down. Are you having fun? Because I'm not. I must have had to reload a previous save like 30 times over the course of this whole thing because either I would miss the rocket shot or get shredded by the 5,000 projectiles headed my way while waiting for the stupid lift to come down. After I finally did it and the bastard exploded into demon goop, I closed the game and had to go outside and take about 27 deep breaths just to avoid smashing my brand new monitor, computer, keyboard, phone, or whatever else I had in arm's reach, and I haven't touched it since. Will I ever again? Only the scholars have the answers you seek, or something. This game just got me fuming. There are a bunch of extra master levels that were added later on, and I'm sure I'll get around to playing those in a few centuries because, yeah, no, just no. Half of the levels, and by extension, half of Doom 2, should just be called Doom, the Maze Runner edition, because that's exactly what you'll be doing for half the game. Running around mazes until you look up a walkthrough or your brain explodes. So, what about the other half of Doom 2's levels? They're pretty good. Yeah, the funny thing here is that the other set of levels in Doom 2 that I don't want to set on fire are pretty dang good. Great even, in some cases. Level 18, The Courtyard, became a personal favorite of mine and has some really neat level design in the indoor areas. Plus, it's just neat that it's kind of a big open free-for-all. Level 23, Barrels of Fun, has a fantastic opening where you gotta be fast as soon as you enter the level, or you'll be blown to smithereens. And the first 3 or so levels are also excellent, just some simple Doom fun that doesn't try too hard to be more complex. Ironically, it's right around level 7, Dead Simple, where things start to go to hell because the game, doesn't stay dead simple. I can understand wanting to expand upon Doom 1 and make the levels bigger and better. I just think the execution of such a plan was off, and unfortunately, several design choices missed the mark, at least for me. Maybe you'll hate the maps that I liked and love the ones that drove me up a wall, but hey, that's the beauty of opinions, isn't it? Some things just aren't designed that well, and there were multiple people designing the levels, so maybe that's part of it, even though the original also had multiple people working on the levels. Strangely enough, Sandy Peterson designed both the maps that I hate the most and also the ones I like the best, so I don't know, maybe he was high for half the development cycle, who knows. Some of Doom 2's level design is quite creative and rather fresh, which makes me kinda sad that the rest wasn't. Simply put, I just didn't enjoy this aspect of Doom 2 anywhere near as much as I did in the first one, and considering how big a role the level design plays in the Doom games, it meant that I didn't enjoy Doom 2 overall anywhere near as much as its predecessor. So now that I've gotten all the level design talk out of the way, it's time to dive into everything else. Normally I would separate things like story, atmosphere, world building, and lore from gameplay, controls, sound design, and music, but here I wanted to just talk about all of it at once since I don't have a whole lot to say here. In terms of story, it's your typical Doom scenario, just instead of the bases on the moons of Mars being invaded, this time it's Earth, because not a single extremely powerful, otherworldly force of destruction would ever come here. Nope, that's never happened before. Okay, so yeah, demons come a-knocking on the doorstep of our big blue and green ball, and only you can save the world. Have you heard this story before? Deja vu, I just been in this place. It's cliched as heck, but who cares? Absolutely no one plays Doom for its story. In terms of Doom 2's overall vibe and atmosphere, well, it's quite similar to Doom 1, except it's missing something. And I didn't realize what it was until a few levels in, but then it hit me.
Oh, fuck.
The music isn't as good. Sure, it's got that old school Doom vibe to it, and some tracks are better than others, but for me it's just missing that spark that the original had. The tracks just don't get me hyped the same way they did in Doom 1 in 2016. I don't know if this was somewhat due to my own taste, but I wasn't as enthralled with the beats this time around. On the technical side of the coin, things remain virtually the same. The graphics are identical, save a few new decorations, which includes 6 new mutilated corpses. Wonderful, darling. Just wonderful. Gameplay is also pretty much identical, with a couple noticeable changes, the first of those new additions being some new enemies, which include the fast-firing Chain Gunner, a beta version of the Baron of Hell, that being the Hell Knight, the bloated Fireball Machine Mancubus, the Skinny Missile Machine Revenant, Robo Spider Arachnotron, the pain-in-the-ass Pain Elemental, a flame-spewing Archvile who can resurrect demons, and the Icon of Sin, which only appears once as a final boss. Honestly, I don't got much bad to say about these guys. The new enemies are fantastic and fun to fight, while offering a solid challenge and also not being infuriating to deal with. Well, except the Pain Elementals, those guys can suck my super shotgun. Speaking of which, oh yes baby, this is where it's at. Doom 2 may not do much better than its predecessor, but this is easily the best weapon in the game and just in the entire franchise. I loved it in Doom 2016, so it was awesome to witness its original form here. There is just something about it, the way it looks, the way it sounds, the way Doom Guy reloads it, the way it blasts demons into tiny little bits with no problem at all. Oh, what a lovely piece of art. It may be the only new weapon, but it's superb, and that's all that matters. Sound design, controls, and the user interface all remain the same, except for some new sounds for the new enemies, so nothing too much to say about these areas of the game. They work well, just like they did in Doom 1. So, the rest of Doom 2, well, it's very good. Really, it is. The new enemies offer some much needed variation in the things you're obliterating. The super shotgun is the GOAT. And while the music isn't amazing, it's also not bad, and fits the vibe of the game well enough. Well, everything else functions the same way it did in the first game, which, despite my issues with the level design, it did allow me to enjoy Doom 2 for what it was. So, do I hate Doom 2? No, not at all. I realize I may have come off as a bit negative in this review, which I don't like doing a whole lot. I kinda like being a glass half full kinda guy, and I don't want to take a dump on any game. If they are bad enough and deserve it, I will, but Doom 2 isn't. Of course, feel free to leave your thoughts on this game and my assessment of it. I'm fully willing to have civil discussions with people and receive constructive criticism, as I am pretty new to the Doom franchise, and I don't have the same knowledge as some people do. Overall, it's a good enough game that is unfortunately 100% held back by its level design. If that particular aspect of the game was better, the game would be well on its way to recapturing the magic of the original. However, it still wouldn't quite be there because, in my opinion, Doom 2 is just too similar to classic Doom, and doesn't shake up the formula enough. It had its moments, but was also a game that left me frustrated and not wanting to continue playing, which sucks. I wanted to love it just as much, if not more, than the original, but I would be straight up lying if I said I did. I love Doom as a franchise, but Doom 2 just wasn't it for me. Thank you all very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and have also happened to enjoy my coverage of the Doom franchise so far, then consider liking and subscribing. I'm going to be doing more Doom content going forward, and of course the support for the channel is always appreciated. Much love, take care, until next time.